Why are so many porn stars from Hungary and Czech Republic? What you are observing are the after effects of the economic and social situation circa 20 years ago. Back then the economic situation and everything else was right for the Western porn industry, and they built a reputation and infrastructure that still works. In the 80s that was Italy and France and Germany, in the 1970s it was Sweden and Germany. And the US is an all-time porn powerhouse. But if you look at the newest frontiers of porn, OnlyFans and all sorts of streaming, then by far the overwhelming majority of performers are Russians, Ukrainians, followed by South Americans. Because the economy is just right for porn to flourish. When a country is too rich, porn just doesn't pay enough to make it worth it. It's a job that's hard, dangerous, and exhausting, not to mention the social stigma. And while it paid incredibly well 40 years ago, these days the average porn actor makes less than the average electrician. When a country is too poor, it's hard to find actors that look attractive or people with enough knowledge of technology to make the studio run. Hungary and Czech are right in the sweet spot. Rapidly growing economies where kids grow up healthy, but are hungry for any opportunities they can find. I know some prostitutes from Hungary and they told me that they were told to get a job. It's really sex trafficking, and now we see a rise of Ukrainian women, too. Also helps that there are plenty of smoking hot Hungarian and Czech women. Gubat sleuthba? HTTPS. Because they are Hungary, they need someone to cut them a check. Because they are countries with 1. Strong internet infrastructure, 2. Very poor economies, 3. White women. A lot of primarily Western Euro-American porn consumers also have fantasies about submissive Slavic women being forced to have sex for cash, so that's what they want to watch. Maybe that's just your preference? Who are some of the famous ones? Human trafficking. Sex trafficking, probably. The same reason they are the most popular places for human egg donors. Those are two of the poorest white people countries. If you're trying to make a porn site for as little money as possible, and you're willing to film overseas, you have a huge pool of Black, Latina, and Asian girls to pick from third world countries who will shoot for a fraction of what girls in the West will cost. But if you want a blonde-haired, blue-eyed model, your options get more limited on the cheap. Most white countries are really wealthy. If you want a hot girl in Western Europe, it's going to cost you. So the best rates you can get on skinny blonde baddies are in Eastern Europe and former Soviet nations like Czech Republic, Romania, Albania, Ukraine, etc. Good-looking people, cheap labor force, no morals. It's also worth noting that both are former communist countries. Entrepreneurialism and social mobility would have been suppressed for a long time, and probably still are to some extent. So you'll get very determined business-minded people who aren't shy of overcoming taboos like porn or worse, trafficking. Because they are Hungary for that check. You would deny the world Alexis Crystal? They are not, it's just observational bias. Economic hardship induced by neoliberal reform after the dissolution of their respective socialist republics. They are Hungary for money, so they check into porn.